Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here continuing to cook up this NBA action, man. Y'all know we do. We're on the jam session. We cook up every single game, every single day. Yesterday, we did cash our top play of the day with the Washington Wizards. Shout out to them boys, man. They beat the Hawks outright. Here on the jam session yesterday, I told you I thought they had a legitimate chance to do exactly that. And in the write-up yesterday, I said the exact same thing. I was going to sprinkle on the money line. And shout out them boys as they money line the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks are the same team we're looking to target again this season. Overrated, overvalued teams. The Hawks only covered 35% of their games a season ago. We covered 65% of the time fading Atlanta. In professional sports, man, it doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't get better than that. And coming on the back end of a back-to-back with travel, I don't know what the books were thinking with that Atlanta line yesterday. So shout out to Wizards. And really shout out the Hawks for continuing to still be overrated and overvalued. They may be worse than what they were a season ago. Hey, money making Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, we hit the top play and we were able to scrape out a couple dollars. It wasn't a monster day. Should have been. We were on the wrong end of a couple back doors, like the Magic, had a significant lead, let the Pacers walk them down. And same thing with Memphis. They had a significant lead in that game, and the Bulls came back and won that game outright. I was kind of surprised to see that happen, but that's the NBA, man. That's the NBA. We know that here on the Jam Session because we do this every single day, man. And we know it's a marathon, not a sprint. Some of those games are going to break our way, and some of them ain't. But we're going to look up at the hopefully end of days, end of weeks, and end of months and be profitable betting the NBA by a pretty significant margin, man. And that's what we do here on the Jam Session. I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. 4 games on the card today, man. Smaller card, but y'all know the drill. We're finna cook it up and try to smash it per usual, man. Money making Tuesday. Let's do what we do. Let's make some money tonight. And without further ado, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. First game of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Got the Brooklyn Nets at home, at the crib, with the Denver Chicken Nuggets rolling in. Denver, hey, these boys have not looked great to start their season. They did get a win yesterday over the Toronto Raptors. Fortunate to get that win, in my opinion. We're down most of that game. Overtime win, 127-125. First win of the season. They dropped their first 2 games at home, at the crib, which is really concerning, in my opinion. This is a team, look at their home record the last 2 seasons. Denver doesn't lose at home. We have a saying for the Nuggets. They go stupid, dummy, crazy at home, at the crib. They have a real home court advantage up there in that elevation. And, man, they be balling up there. But to start their season off 0-2 at home was concerning. And then to go and play the way they played last night against Toronto, concerning. Now on the back end of a back-to-back with travel following an overtime game, majorly concerning. Y'all know what we do here on the Jam Session. We love betting spots and situations. And this spot and situation puts us on the Brooklyn Nets. When I think about how it's going to look on the floor as well, Cam Thomas, I think he's going to have a nice game. Denver no longer has Pope, which was, their perimeter defender. He's now in Orlando. So I don't think that Cam Thomas will be pressured as much as he has in a couple games he's played this season. I think this will be one of the games he probably has a decent game. I think his role players go with him. I like the Nets here. We got to bet the spot, got to bet the situation. Trust our eyes. And my eyes tell me I'm not liking what I'm seeing from the Denver Nuggets right now. And knowing who they are the last couple seasons, at home, at the crib is usually where they do most of their ATS damage. Can't trust them tonight. Give me Brooklyn plus the points here in our first game of the day. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Minnesota where them T-Wolves are taking on my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. Mavs, 5.5-point road dogs. Hey, Western Conference Finals rematch is what this game is. Let's talk about the spots and the situations. Not a great spot and situation for my Mavs on the back end of a back-to-back with travel. They did get a dub yesterday at home at the crib over the Utah Jazz. But now heading to Minnesota, who has the rest advantage, who's pissed off because of they lost in the conference finals a season ago, is not the best spot and situation for my Mavs. But y'all already know I'm betting my Mavs plus the points and outright on the money line. When I look at who these two teams are on the floor, like when I just look at X's and O's, who these two teams are, how they match up, I think the Mavs are still the better team by a pretty decent margin. We saw it play out like that in the postseason. Over the offseason, I felt like my Mavs got significantly better, adding guys like Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, Grimes. We elevated our role players. While I feel like Minnesota, they did add Randall and DiVincenzo, but I'm still on the fence on if that's an upgrade, neutral trade, or did they regress a little bit? It's still too early in the season for me to determine that. So I know it's playoff revenge. I know it's not the best spot for my Mavs on the back end of a back-to-back with travel, with the rest disadvantage. I understand all that, but still, I think they're just a better basketball team. Short, sweet, simple. And I think they go out here and win this basketball game. At least keep it fairly competitive. Minnesota, in my opinion, is still, until proven otherwise, the house of disappointment. This isn't something we just started calling them last season. We've been calling them this forever because it is what it is, and the truth is the truth. Whenever these boys have expectations, just when you think they finna do something, they almost never do it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I also trust my Mavs ATS on the road. They were the best road ATS team in the NBA a season ago. They were 34-18-1 against the number on the road, league best. A lot of that was as favorites, but they were still decent as dogs as well. Got to take the Mavs in this spot. It is what it is. Taking the better team at plus money is what I've got to do here. So give me Dallas plus the points and outright money line fading Minnesota. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, we're in Utah, where the Jazz are 5.5-point home dogs with the Sacramento Kings coming in. Both teams on back end of back-to-backs with travel. Both teams got a cover yesterday as well. The Jazz were in Dallas, where they got the cover against my Mavs. We knew it was a bad spot for my Mavs. I told you I was not betting that game. I was staying away from that game. Mavs is extended home favorites. It's not their spot. So we were able to avoid that landmine. Now the Jazz on the back end of a back-to-back with travel, heading back home where we usually trust them. Sacramento, they got the blowout win over the Portland Trail Blazers. We had them as well. No surprise there. Bad spot for Portland on the back end of a back-to-back with travel. Off a win. Like, Portland's a bad team. So, off of one win, they were fat and happy, smiling. And then they went and got their doors blown off by a good Sacramento team. This is a good Sacramento Kings team. Sacramento just had a tough schedule to start their season. They had Minnesota coming off an L, who's really good in that situation. And they had the Lakers, who I think are tremendously improved and are going to play my Mavs in the Western Conference Finals this season. So, the Kings last night just did what they were supposed to do. And this one, when I look back at last season, the Kings dominated the Jazz. They won all the meetings and won them all comfortably. But y'all know me, I love my spots and situations. Utah got to show up at home at some point, and I think tonight's the night. I think they have a legitimate shot to win this game outright. I still think the Kings need to figure out some things chemistry-wise, how everybody's going to fit on the floor and the cohesiveness of adding a scorer like DeMar DeRozan into the fold. I think Utah is going to sneak up on some people this season, especially at home where we usually trust them. They were really profitable for us last season at home at the crib. That's why I trust the Jazz. So I got to sign myself up for it, fellas. We're on Utah tonight. The Kings are the better basketball team, but the better basketball team doesn't always win and cover. We know that here on the Jam Session. So give me the Jazz plus the points in this one. I think this game is going to be competitive, probably come down to the wire. And in that style game, I want the points in my back pocket. Last and final game of the night, we're in Cali, the Bay, where the Golden State Warriors are home dogs with the New Orleans Pelicans rolling in. Hey, no Steph Curry tonight for Golden State. Short, sweet, simple. No Curry, no Warriors fading their ass. Give me the Pelicans is how I see this game. The Warriors were one of the worst home ATS teams a season ago. They were one of the best road ATS teams last season. which is crazy because you remember the season before, it was the exact opposite. They were dominant at home and terrible on the road, but last season that was not the case. And to open up this season, they were dominant on the road, won and covered both their games on the road, and then we know what happened to them at home the other day. So no Curry, no Warriors for me. Gotta fade them. Just sticking to who we know them to be from a season ago. The Pelicans, man, if you are who you say you are, you feel me? Like, y'all better come out and win this game. If the Pelicans lose this game, they're on the do not bet list. Short, sweet, simple. Easy. If the Pelicans lose this game, they're on the do not bet list, game 4 of the season, because I will already know who they are. Every season, the Pelicans do this shit, where they low-key are an up-and-coming team. This is the year they're going to break through, and then something happens. Some New Orleans voodoo happens. They're already missing their point guard, who they brought in, DeJounte Murray, to run the show, which is kind of crazy. He broke his hand. I think he's gone till late November. But they still have some guys over there. Based on the pure talent on the floor tonight, the Pelicans are the better basketball team. And they better win this game. This is a must-win game, in my opinion, for the Pelicans, or I'm already going to know who they are this early in the season. Sorry, I had to go on a mini rant because I'm tired of the Pelicans' fake hope. They always got hope. They always finna do something and never do it. So they better break through this season. And if they're going to break through this season, they have to win the winnable games. And this is one of those. A banged-up Warriors team who was not great at home a season ago, missing their superstar. Give me the Pelicans. I'll lay the points with them on the road. See if they pull it out for us here in our last and final game of the night. Smaller card, only 4 games, so not a whole lot to work with for me tonight. But I do got 2 that I like. Cam Thomas over 26.5 points. Denver on the back end of a back-to-back with travel following an overtime game. I don't think a whole lot of defense, especially early in the season, is going to be played from the Nuggets tonight on the road. You feel me? Cam Thomas, he's a shot chunker, so we know he's going to get the shots up. It's just a matter of does he make them, and I think he does. He probably goes for 30 tonight. It's one of them nights Cam Thomas goes crazy. So give me Cam Thomas over 26.5 points. And then Naz Reid over 1.5 threes made. Hey, we saw Naz Reid explode in the playoffs hitting threes. And one of those main games he exploded against was against these same Mavs that he's playing tonight, my team. I think he has a decent night. I think he gets the shot attempts up due to the matchups on the floor. And it's just a matter of does he hit them or not. So give me Naz Reid over 1.5 threes. Need him to make 2. I think he shoots maybe 4 or 5 tonight. And we don't need him knocked down 2. So give me Naz Reid over 1.5 threes made. And the 2 props I like for y'all tonight. Short, sweet, and simple. And that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam Session. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. Money Making Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Small card, 4 games, but we just cooked it up. And hopefully we smash it per usual. Of course, I got a top play for y'all over at the site. You guys can hop on that, or you can hop on something long term as we continue to try to do what we do. And that's kick the crap out of the books, betting hoops, man. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. There's a link for both in the description below. I appreciate each and every one of y'all more than y'all know. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs. See y'all tomorrow. I'm out of here. Peace.